You have tried the breath work. You have set the alarm 30 minutes earlier to do the morning routine. You have downloaded the app, taken the cold shower, writing in the gratitude journal. And maybe in a moment, some of it helped. But the underneath of it, the wired, flat, cannot quite switch off feeling, that didn't move. What if the reason none of it worked isn't that you didn't do it right? What if those tools were never designed for your body in the first place? In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you why that is true, what it means for your nervous system, and what actually works for the female stress response. So stay with me. I'm Zainab Kamara. I'm a registered nurse, and I have spent 20 years watching women work incredibly hard at approaches that were simply not calibrated for them. If you're not yet subscribed, this is a good moment. I post every Wednesday and Sundays. Wednesday goes deep on the science. Sunday, I answer the question you are already asking. Hit the subscribe so you don't miss either of them. Now, let's get into this. Most of what we know about stress, the protocols, the recovery tools, the published recommendations comes from research conducted predominantly on male subjects. The breathwork techniques, the cold exposure protocols, the structured decompression plans, the 4-7-8 breathing. These were tested and validated largely on male physiology and then generalized to everyone. The result is that millions of women are following approaches that were never calibrated for the way their nervous system actually works. And when those approaches do not deliver the promised relief, the assumption, often the woman's own assumption about herself, is that she isn't consistent enough, isn't disciplined enough, isn't doing it right. That is not what is happening. A study published in January 2025 in Science Advances, one of the world's leading peer-reviewed multidisciplinary journals, found something that changed how we have to think about this. Researchers at the University of Florida examined how stress affects the brain at the molecular level. They found that acute stress triggers a specific enzyme called 5-alpha reductase 2 in the prefrontal cortex of a male subject. The same response do not happen in a female subject. Same stress, different molecular mechanism entirely. This is not a small detail. The prefrontal cortex is where we regulate emotional responses, make decisions under pressure, and manage what researchers call executive functions. The ability to think clearly when things are hard. The male and female brains are using completely different molecular pathways to handle stress in this region. You have tried the cold shower, the 5-minute breathing protocol, the morning walk before you look at your phone, and maybe some of those gave you a window of calm. But the underlying thing, they're wired and tired. They cannot stop thinking at night. The flat feeling in the morning will stay there when you came back. You have been told your nervous system needs to be regulated, and you have been trying. What no one has told you is that most of the regulation tools you have been offered were not built for how your nervous system works. So what does the female stress response actually looks like? The female stress response is not a weaker version of the male stress response. It is a different response, a different hormonal drives, a different recovery window, and a different vulnerabilities. When your body encounters a stressor, a difficult conversation, a sleepless night, 3 hours of back-to-back caregiving, a school run in traffic, it activates what we call the HPA axis, the hypothalamus, the pituitary, and the adrenal glands. That system releases cortisol. In a regulated system, cortisol rises, does its job. It mobilizes energy, sharpens focus, get you through the hard moments, and then comes down. The system resets. But in women under chronic pressure, a 2025 systematic review published in Clinical Practices, which analyzed 14 studies across more than 30,000 people, confirmed this. Chronic load does not just raise cortisol, it suppresses melatonin. It disrupts the cortisol rhythm across the day. It produces what researchers call circadian misalignment. In plain language, the system that is supposed to be high in the morning and low at night gets flipped. You feel flat and foggy when you should be feeling alert, wired and restless when you should be winding down. Your sleep suffers. Your cortisol pattern becomes erected. And the tools designed for a nervous system that reset faster through difficult molecular pathways do not touch the disruption in yours. I want to ask you something before we get to what to do about this. That pattern I just described, flat in the morning, wired at night, does that sound like you? Drop a comment below because what I'm about to share is specifically for that experience. 3 steps in order, not a program. The first right thing to do. Step 1, anchor your morning cortisol. The first thing to understand is that you cannot breathe your way out of a disrupted cortisol rhythm. The recovery has to happen at the level of the rhythm, not the moment. That means a consistent wake time, and within 30 minutes of waking, natural light in your eyes, not through a glass, outside, or a window that is open. No sunglasses. This is the single most evidence-supported input for anchoring your cortisol awakening responses and beginning to reset the rhythm. Step 2, fuel before stress load. The prefrontal cortex, the exact brain region the science advances studies identified as the site of sex differences in stress response, is glucose dependent. When you skip breakfast or underfuel in the morning, you are asking that region of the brain to regulate your stress responses without the energy it needs to do so. Protein within 90 minutes of awakening. I keep coming back to this because it is foundational. Not because food solves stress, no, but because it removes one metabolic pressure from a system that is already carrying enough. Step 3, low input recovery first. Breath work and core exposures have their place. I'm not dismissing them. But for a female nervous system that is already depleted and dysregulated, high-intensive stress protocols can add to the load rather than reducing it. What the female nervous system turns to respond to when in a chronic stress state is slow movement, warm connections, and safety signals. A walk where you are not trying to hit a step count. A warm bath, a conversation with someone who does not need anything from you right now. These are not soft suggestions. They are physiologically appropriate input for a nervous system that needs to know it is safe before it can reset. Start here. Then, once the rhythm has established over 2 to 3 weeks, you can add the hard protocols. The tools you have been given were built for a different body. Not because you were forgotten, but because for a very long time, the research simply was not done on women. That is beginning to change. And in the meantime, you do not have to keep trying harder at approaches that were never designed for you. Your stress response is not broken, it is female. And that means it deserves recovery approaches calibrated for the way it actually works, not adapted from someone else's. If this landed for you, share it with one woman in your life who have been trying everything and still feel stuck. She needs to hear this. Subscribe. I post every Wednesday and Sunday. This Sunday, I'm posting a short video that goes back to basics. If you have been hearing the phrase nervous system stuck and you are not quite sure what it means in plain English, Sunday video is for you. Watch for it and drop a comment. What stress tool were you told to try and never quite worked for you? I read every single one. Health under real life pressure. Slowly, honestly,